Yeah, like I say, Coach Wiles and I go back several years, but I actually knew his brother at least 3 years before I knew him. When I was the head football coach at Port St. Lucie High School and running single wing, his brother, who's still at Virginia Tech, was at that time the D-line coach. I think it was the DN coach, and he was eventually the recruiting coordinator. And I knew him both there at Hamilton County, and then when I went to Bronson, he told me some stories about Bill. I said, I didn't even realize I'd already played Bill at Trenton, and he said, yeah, my brother's Bill Wiles. And I said, the guy at Trenton? He goes, yeah. So anyways, Bill and I go back that far at least, but I knew of him before then because he won state championships there in the Panhandle at a couple places, and he's been coaching a long time, comes from a long coaching tree. I think, wasn't your dad a football coach as well?
No, sorry, it wasn't. Just me and my brother.
I thought maybe his dad done it too. But he and Charlie Wiles have both been outstanding coaches. Coach Wiles is the offense coordinator now at Lowndes County. For those of you not from Georgia, which isn't very many of us, Lowndes County is the county that Valdosta is in. And everybody knows that Valdosta was this king of the road for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, Lowndes County turned over and beat Valdosta. And then they hired some numbskull of the name of Darlington, and Valdosta made sort of a comeback. But at any rate, Lowndes County has some great athletes. He'll know, I don't know if Bill knew that I'd coached at Hamilton County, but it borders Lowndes County. It's the Florida-Georgia line, for those of you who are country music fans. That's exactly, the two of them are together. But Coach Wiles is a great friend. He's done a great job. I remember him calling me when he got the Branford job. He said, John, do you know anybody in Florida or somewhere close to me that's doing this? I said, well, Rick Darlington's doing it, and my boy I left at Bronson, Doug Kerr, they're both doing it. You could talk to both of them. And he said, Doug? And I said, yeah. He runs exactly what I ran the whole time I was there. So anyways, without further ado, let's get Coach Wiles up here and get him going.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start out real quick. This has been kind of coming into this clinic. It's always an honor when somebody asks you to come speak and come talk ball. I've coached ball for 34 years, fixing to be 35. And so anytime anybody asks me to share, man, it's always a big honor. And coming here, it was a little bit, use the word odd, you know, what have you. And I've got some stuff I want to talk about that I plan to talk about. And this is a little bit impromptu, but it was a little bit weird and a little bit odd because, you know, people talking are people that taught me about this stuff. You know, Rick and I go way back, long ways, and when I start telling my story, that'll be included. I met Jeff. Jeff was the head football coach. He big-timed me one time. Jeff was the head football coach at Boston College.
I didn't.
Yeah, he did, and I'm going to tell it too.
Do that.
Jeff was the head football coach at Boston College. Played Virginia Tech. It's just a story, coach. We're good. Jeff was the head football coach at Boston College. Played Virginia Tech in Tampa in the ACC championship game, right? And so Bud Foster, who's the defensive coordinator, I've known Bud recruited my brother. So I've known Bud forever. We're walking off the field. Jeff's coming. Virginia Tech was getting finished with their practice, and Boston College was getting ready to practice. And I mean, I'm a football fan, you know. So I seen that man on TV, and he's walking out of the tunnel. I'm like, damn, you know, that's Jeff Jag, man. So he walks by, and Jeff says, "Hello, Bud." Bud says, "Hey, Jeff, how you doing?" Nobody said a damn word to me. Nothing. But then go to Apopka, and Jeff happens to be down there, I always go down and visit with Rick, and talk ball, and I'll be damned if Jeff ain't down there. So we end up, we're standing on the sideline, we're watching Rick, we're talking, and we ended up sitting on the couch, talking about how to shift people, which we can't do, but we won't get into all that. So Jeff learned a lot from Rick too, and I'm following, so I'm following him, and we it's, sharing, man. I stole everything I got from somebody, and then my man Keaton, Rick knew Keaton. I have no idea how. Keaton was going to the Florida State High School football championship games, and he called, and we were going to meet. I'd never seen the man in the flesh, so I'm going to the game. I'm like looking around, I wonder what Keaton looks like. I'm with my son, and boom. So Keaton's here, and I don't know how Keaton's a young guy. He's coming up. He's a hell of a football coach. He's hungry. And like I said, I had some things planned. A lot of this is impromptu. I'm not an expert. There are some things I do know. I know relationships are huge. I know that. And that goes back to those people I talked about. And, there's other people sitting in this room that I've met through, we went to the Single Wing Conclave. And so, I met people up there that are here. And, Coach Ingram sitting there. I've met Coach Ingram through football. And there's not a finer guy in the world than that dude. And he called me out of the blue. I'm at Cook High School. Now, we had already had a little bit of a relationship. But he called me and wanted to know, Coach, can we stop and rest or change clothes or something? I'm like, shoot, yeah, man. I got to talk to my head guy. So I talked to Coach Jones. He said, sure, not a problem. So I stayed, and they stopped. We talked for a little bit, went and watched them play. And, man, you talking about a guy that does it the right way. And kids play their tail off. That dude right there coaching football now. And, go back to my guy here, same way. And so, I've always tried to honor the game. And when Coach said, was your dad a football coach? No, my dad wasn't a football coach, but my dad made me who I am. And, I've always, keep your name right. Rick uses some things, Proverbs 22:1. I can't recite it, but it's a good name is more important than. And before I even knew that, I tried to keep my name right because that's how I was raised. And so when I do this stuff, I want to pay it forward and share, the stuff that I have taken and used over the years. Real quick, y'all might have heard this story. I'm not sure where it happened. Milledgeville, Savannah, somewhere. Couple dwarfs, they walk in a bar. They hanging out, having some drinks. Y'all probably saw this on the news. And they picked up 2 call girls. They go back to this hotel. Got them separate hotel rooms with these 2 call girls. Well, the one dwarf, he can't get it to go, man. Can't get it to work. And next door, he hears 1, 2, 3, ah! He's like, dang. Still can't get it to go, man. Next door, 1, 2, 3, ah! And that just goes on all night long. The next morning they get up, 2 dwarfs meet in the lobby of the hotel. And the one dwarf, the guy couldn't get it to go on, he said, man, how'd it go for you? He said, man, couldn't get it to happen, bro. Wouldn't work. He said, shoot, you think that's bad? He said, I couldn't even get up on the bed. There's no magic bullet. I know that we're all here, Single Wing wing symposium and all that. There's a bunch of ways to skin a cat. A bunch of ways to skin a cat. Single wing has been phenomenal to me. I was a wing T guy before, wing T, under center, run the triple option, run the inside veer, outside veer, start dabbling with some midline, run the wing T stuff, butt sweep, belly, all that with the triple. 08, 09, somewhere in there, we had a freshman kid, gonna be pretty good. That's when I told the story. Rick saw Rick playing on TV, and they were flex bone first half, and then in the second half were 4x2 single wing, and so I got up with Rick. We had a ninth grader, and that's when we kind of made the transition. We had a ninth grader that we felt like was going to be pretty good, and so. What year was that, Rick? Y'all played South Panola, just for reference.
2008.
Okay, so it was 2009. 2008's when we had the freshman kid that could only play corner, but he was going to be really special. So that's when we made the switch to single wing, and I've only since then 1 year have done anything different, and that's when I took a job at another school that had won 2 state championships, and they were 65-11, and I didn't want to be the guy to go in there and say, okay, y'all done it wrong. We're fixing to run this offense. Well, they were running. So happened it was where I was running the wing T and running the triple option, and so we kept running it, and we ended up went to quarterfinals. And then when I went back, we've been running single wing ever since. So, like I said, I don't want to come off. Like I said, like I know everything. I don't. There's a few things. You need to do what fits you. You need to do what fits your players. When I say fits you, fits your personality. I want my kids to be the toughest kids on the field on a Friday night. We're going to practice that way. We're going to walk that way. We're going to talk that way. We're going to be the most physical, toughest team, hopefully. And like I said, that starts in January in the weight room. It starts with, how you do things, how you say things. Your expectations and so on and so forth. Again, I don't know a lot. I'm not an expert. I've already said I know relationships are very, very important. Culture. Talk a little bit about culture. I think culture, and I don't want, again, don't be offended by something I say. Culture right now is a hot word. Wouldn't everybody agree with that? I mean, everywhere you turn, it's culture. I went to work my first job in 1986 for a guy named Richard Kennedy. And, we had a phenomenal culture, but the word culture was never mentioned. I didn't know what culture, didn't know what culture was, Coach Kennedy had a set of standards. He had expectations and consequences, and that created a culture. And at one point, when I was there, we won a bunch of games, but at one point they had the longest winning streak in the state of Florida. Took over the program at Donnell, and they were horrible, and they won 2 state championships there. So, sometimes I just get baffled by, Twitter culture, Facebook culture. I mean, is our society to the point that we don't know right from wrong anymore? I think like Rick. I know Rick has a good culture. I stood on his sideline. I know he has a good culture. So again, I'm not so sure. Why that's become a buzz, but at any rate, 30 years of experience. I first saw the Notre Dame box at Branford High School, probably 1995. Had no idea what it was, no clue. Actually, probably in the late 80s instead of the late 90s. Had no idea what it was. Later I saw it. Talked about Rick, talked about Giles. I can never repay, Coach D for, what he's done for me in terms of learning this stuff. Coach Williams at Giles has been a big help because we can't, Rick was at a big old 7A school in Apopka, Florida, and I've always been in a small community school. So we have, Jeff got up here and, great presentation. That's exactly what we do. All right, that's exactly what we do. Probably don't not take the damn probably out. We don't do as good a job, but that's exactly what we do. I wanted to show you guys we are pretty basic. All that stuff that Jeff did, he talked about 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. We run it all. We do a little bit more formation-wise. So what I thought I would do, because remember the first thing I told you is a little bit awkward. We're all teaching the same thing. So coming behind Jeff, what I want to do is I want to show you, a couple things that he didn't talk about that might help you. So my deal is if I stand up here, for a little while and talk to you, maybe you get a couple things. You say, dang, that might work, okay? So we go, we move our tight end around a little bit. Over, on, out. Again, I never try to be something I'm not. I can't be Rick. Rick's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a schemer. That sucker carries that little spiral-bound notebook around everywhere he goes. He's always friggin' drawing. He's got a way to call you up. I got to write this down. Man, I'm in a little old school. I can't confuse my kids. So my deal is, how many different ways can we line up and still run 8? How many different ways can we line up and still run 7? So tight end, if we went out for us, that would just split the tight end out. Right? No big deal. If we went on, we would maybe switch the split in or whatever, but we'd do that in some shape, fashion, or form. Whether or not our tight end was teachable, whether, depending on how smart he was, we might switch him in the X, but the point is we would put him on that side. And you would be, again, you'd be surprised, y'all talking about that force guy. You'd be shocked at how many people just take the force guy, put him there, put their corner there. Now they've created a soft edge. You're going to run eight till they do something. So, again, just a formation to run a play that we rep 700 times Monday through Thursday. Talk about toughness. Talk about creating a mentality. Practice. We practice. We're full pads. We're full pads Monday through Wednesday. If I ever go anywhere and start over, we would probably be full pads Monday through Thursday. I went to Santa Fe High School. They had 2 winning seasons in 20 years, 19, something like that. And we were full pads Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, shoulder pads, helmets, girdles on Thursday. And we practiced on Thursday. It wasn't a walkthrough. We practiced. And so that's kind of, again, carrying over the physical nature. So if we went on, we'd do this same thing. Blood the inside linebacker. That makes it a softer edge. This guy's going to double that guy. Same thing Jeff said. Now that guy's way the heck out there. So now it makes the edge softer to run 8. All right? Over. Now the tight end would come over and be a part of the interior. And the answer is yes. We leave that just like that. We go with that nub side. And yes, we have run the ball over there. And yes, we have some rules that we run 7 over there. Remember where Jeff said the wing back aims? Where's that wing back aiming on 7? At the center's, in this case, left foot. So if they got that guy right there and we can run the counter, we can still run the counter. As long as they don't have 2 people outside that guard on the line of scrimmage, we can still run 9 sweep. So we can run the ball over there. If we went on, check it, over, the tight end would just become a part of this side. So if we come out of the huddle and do it, guard, inside tackle, tight end, or vice versa. We've done it both ways, depending on, that's the inside tackle, depending on our personnel. So now we got a 4-man side. We just come out of the huddle and we line up. And one of the other things that we start doing when we run these sets is snapping the ball fast. Hustle up on the line of scrimmage, get your hand on the ground, we're going on first down. If you have never heard, if you've never seen the Texas slot T, it'd be a cool thing to YouTube. Suckers get up on the ball, put their hand on the ground, and they gone. They're not tempo. They're not no huddle. They get in the huddle. But when they come out of the huddle, it's a blur. And when they get up, they put their hand on the ground, boom, they snap the ball. You better have your mind right on defense. So we do the same thing, with this. So we going to call 6. We going to run up there. There's going to be 4 people standing over here doing that, and we're going to be snapping the ball and got 4 yards.
Is the rest of your personnel the same?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wing back, split in.
When you run power out of that unbalanced set, do you still just kick the flash man?
Yep. And a lot of times
Or do you have an inside power too?
we have an inside power too, and a lot of times we've got to where that's probably a better football play, Keaton, actually.
The inside power.
Yep. So, like if somebody, if they're in a 9, put them where you want them. I'll show you what we'd do. So you got a 9.
Put a guy inside, get out of here.
In the next guy here.
Yeah, just cover him up.
All right, we're at now.
Next guy.
All right, we gap that.
Just down.
Yeah, we gap that. Now, if they went there, skip the man,
Right.
and create a bubble,
Just run lead.
we go base. Because what you run into is you end up this guy here. What if you guys that coach defense, got a man back there? He's been looking at film the whole time. You gonna spill the power, right, Coach? You gonna try to? Jed won't. Never mind, I ain't getting into that. But a lot of people want to spill the power, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to block the power. What we call tunnel. And so we're still going to put the blocking back up in there. We're still going to lead the back. We're still going to pull the guard. We're going to do what Jeff did. We're going to try to grab each other's hand. We're going to snap it, and we're going to run the power right there. So that would be tunnel. And we can, yes, we can block down and kick, and yes, it is a little bit of a longer edge. But we try to get, instead of 16 inches or 18-inch splits or whatever, we might get down and get 6-inch splits, and make it not quite so long. So that's a real simple deal. Before I come to Georgia, we would actually shift into that stuff a little bit. Jeff gave me some real cool ideas, and it wasn't so much on who to move, it was just some words to use, like mix it, make it, just different stuff, so come up with a list of 8 or 10 words where you can move, this speaks to you. So if we say mix it, then we're gonna change sides with 2 people and replace them with 1. If we say make it, we're gonna line up anywhere. When I was at Santa Fe, our right formation was Raider. Just like Jeff said, his formation was green and gold. Our right formation was Raider. So if we wanted to make it Raider, we line up wherever the heck they wanted, and then when the quarterback clapped his hands, we'd get Raider. So move around a lot. Wham! Split ends here. Blocking back. Wham! Wing back weak over here. And there's some, run your plays. Run your plays. I mean, that's, like I said, less plays, more ways. So we'd put the wing back there. Weak. We would put the split in wide and weak. And that's just some of the simple ways that we would move. I'm gonna go through here and see what I left out. So that's just some of the simple ways: on, over, wide, split, saw, blocking back. Something good. Move the blocking back weak. We called that beak. We tied 2 of them together. We'd put the blocking back and the wing back weak. It's a little bit crowded, but it's a good set. And it's a better set if they allow you to move to it. Which generally they didn't have a problem when we moved 1 people. They had a problem when we moved all them guys is when they had a problem. So some of the other things that you can do, and you can still run your stuff. Draw everything to the right. Strong. That'd still be the wing back. That'd be the split end. That'd be the tailback. That'd be the blocking back. That'd be whoever you want it to be. So line up in strong. And we've lined up in trips. We've lined up in tray. Again, what you call it don't matter. Make it work for you. So if we were to the right side, split in, tight guard, tight end. So now we'd put the wing back and tailback over here. So you got 3 eligible. So that'd be tray. I got a bunch of them here. I'm not going to go over all of them. Rick's deal and Jeff's deal 3x1 unbalanced with a split end. There is some merit to 4x2. There is some merit to 4x2. That is that's what Giles majors in is 4x2 stuff, and that's kind of some of the stuff I've got from Jeff. Is when I say Jeff Williams at Giles, they got some really, really nasty plays out of that versus what we normally run that. But that's, again, defenses have got to line up. And it's been my experience that some of those people can't line up. So wham week, trips, was talking earlier about, some things that we did last year. Go wide. So you got your X there, you got your wing back there. And I always want to keep this power core. Very, very seldom, if any, will you see me line up without that power core. What you do with your tailback, is up to you. But one thing that we went to, we would invert these guys or switch them. We'd step up, step back. We'd block a smoke. So we would call power. So we're down, kick. We're blocking power. Back, pull. If this guy looks out here, corners off, and force guys here, and that's how they look, we'll throw smoke screen out there. That's a pre-snap deal. Not an RPO, nothing like that. But it's a pre-snap deal, and it's pretty good. You throw the tailback in the mix. So if you're on a two-man side, the tag is always smoke. If you're on the single receiver side, the tag is always stop to curl. Because if we're looking anywhere, this guy's obviously step hinge. So your sound, it's not like you're going to get hit in the mouth if you catch it and stand up to throw it out there. So if you feel like the power is a better play, we taught our guy to count. 2 over 2 is not going to stop the smoke, especially when 2's 12 yards, 10 yards deep. A corner 7 yards off is not going to stop the 5-yard stop route. So we rep that stuff. Again, I told you Rick carries that spiral notebook around, and he's drawing stuff in it, and some of it looks really, really cool to me. And he's running 100 things. And I see one thing, that stands out to me. I can't do the 50 things that he's got in that little book, but I've stole 2 things. He don't even know it. And so last year, empty was the thing in the spiral notebook. And it was something like this. Might not be exactly right. Empty. How many people's that, Keith? Well, is that 11? Six. One more. I need one more.
Or is that one out wide? Is that one part of the trip?
That's 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one out wide under the
Am I
cup.
good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So that's 11. All right. So this is our. We kept our blocking back, and I don't think that's where Rick kept his blocking back. But it don't matter what Rick does, because I can't be Rick. Remember? But we kept our blocking back right there. So we messed around all summer bringing this guy in motion and running some passes and this and that and the other thing. And here's what got good for us. Bringing that guy in motion, cracking looping, and handing it off on like Jet 8. If they didn't have enough people out there, hand it off on Jet 8. All right? If that wasn't any good, then we're back to what I showed you a while ago. We're going to fake Jet 8. We're going to get that dude up in there, and we're going to run 6 tunnel off that Jet 8. And then we're going to fake the jet sweep. We're going to run a post and a wheel and a shallow and just run him out here and just stand him up. So now we've run the jet, we've run the power. They know we ain't going to throw it. We never throw it. So when we throw it, we won't make it count, so we won't throw it over their head.
When you go spread, how much difference did you say there was in your X when he lines up in base single wing?
Coach, we tried to keep it as close as we could. You know what I'm saying? 5 to 7 yards from the core.
Gotcha.
That, because I mean, we're coaching kids. If you tell them too much, they forget everything they knew. So it worked. It worked okay for us, you know. So the X was 5 to 7. We had a couple other little. Those were the main things. The other thing we did, the other play that was really good. Same deal. We would bring the tight end in there a lot and still leave the tail back there. Still motion that. We'd run everything we just talked about. Still run the tunnel, still run the jet, but it gave us a little bit better deal to run the counter with the quote-unquote quarterback. So, you know, that's a couple things. Again, moving some people around and running the same stuff. We getting wide. We getting wide. If the guy's spilling the power, if this guy's spilling the power, when he does that, that means he can log him. If that guy's spilling the power, that means that the blocking back can log him. So that means that we can run the buck sweep. Still, blood the first backer in the box. It's down, down. We call it 8 dog. I thought I wrote it somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I wrote buck sweep. We call it 8 dog. Dog just means down and both guards pull. And we tell this guy to read the backside guard. And we did a couple of things. If they had a 3 here, we would base that and we would read the 3 technique. So if the 3 technique chased the guard, the guy'd pull it and we'd hit it right there. Again, never did anything we felt like we were going to blow fuses on. You know who need to know we was reading the 3 technique? That guy and that guy. That's it. If that guy right there is not, you know, if you don't want to tell him too much, tell him to base 5 every time on the buck sweep. That's what we've had to do at times. Off of that, we like to run. We like to go off of this deal here. That is surf. If he's going back the other way, it's ski. So, surf 2, surf 6 tunnel, surf 3. Surf 7. Everybody see what I'm talking about? So you guys that's done it. We've even went surf 9, and it's not bad. It's actually a viable play. And again, we're not running anything different. We're not running anything different. When I look at here, I'm just looking at my notes. So we've talked about being a formation team. Throw in a little caveat I went past. Kicking extra points and going for 2. I want to win. Easiest way to win a game is not lose it. And there's times you need to go for 2, and there's times that you need to kick the extra point, and it's not necessarily what that sheet says. You know, everybody's got that sheet, right? When to kick, when to go for 2. That's okay, but that's not 100% good. And I'm gonna give you an example. Told you went to Santa Fe, hadn't had 2 winning seasons in 20 years. In 2014, we're playing North Marion, and they're really good. We go in overtime. We scored, they scored, so we're in second overtime. They got the ball first. They scored, we got it second. We run 6 down to the 2-yard line, run 6 again, walked in the end zone, and I'm thinking we need to go for 2. I'm looking at them suckers, and they're over there like this. And I'm thinking, man, we need to go for 2, but I don't want to beat my kids, you know what I'm saying? So we kicked it, and we lost the game. I said, I'll never do that again. I'm going with that, with my gut. The following year, in 15, we're playing the number 1 ranked team at home, and points were at a premium. Two very good defensive teams. We scored with 5 minutes to go in the game to make it 13 to 12. Prior to that, our long snapper had got hit on his funny bone or some mess on his elbow. And he was a baby. He was a straight baby. He was over there on the sideline. And I called him over. And I said, son, you going to be able to snap for the extra point? I just moved on. I knew what I was fixing to do. So we scored, and we had a kid that played Mike linebacker, and he carried the ball in nut cutting time. He didn't get a bunch of carries, but he got several carries. So he was standing over there on the sideline. We scored, and I grabbed him. And he said, Coach, we going for 2? I said, don't you want to? He said, yes. He said, what are we running? I said, I don't know what we run. He said, we're running 6. I said, let's run. So we go in there, but what we did do is we lined up in that where we put the tight end over, and we went up and we went on first down, and he ran all the way through the end zone to the trap and set the ball on the trap, untouched. So I'm not saying I'm a genius. I told y'all I'm not very smart. Sometimes you got to go with what your gut tells you to do. But I also said easiest way to win a game is not lose it. Hit that thing, Keaton, please, sir. I can't tell you anything other than what Coach Jags told you. What I'm going to do is we're going to hit that real quick. And those are our rules. Let them see the rules, Coach. Coach, did you have all your rules? I don't recall. Did you have all your rules up there like that? Yeah. Okay. I'm trying not to duplicate what you did.
I didn't have to.
Okay.
I didn't have to.
So that's strong trap. that's strong trap. Go to the next one. We got a clip. Skip one, I think. Zip play. There you go. And then you can control it just dragging that thing on the bottom. That's Thomasville High School in South Georgia. That's us in the dark, obviously. Run it back, Coach, one time. There you go. So that's spin, trap strong. That's not a good play all the time, but it's better than Coach Darlington. You know, he don't like it.
Can't run too many plays like you coach.
No, you're right. We don't run many.
You run more than we do.
No.
That's what I was saying. That's what I found. We went from the spread instead of screens and stuff like that. Our kids, where they bought into this, is running spin. They love spins.
Yeah.
They love wedge stuff
So
like that.
yeah, this is like I said, Thomasville. Thomasville, they're a blue blood school in South Georgia. You know, we're just shoot, man. We're mixed breed dogs. Where I was. This is Brunswick. Brunswick is a 6A school. This is probably the best team they had in 30 years. Our AD loved us. We played Lee County. They won the 6A state championship. We played Tifton. They went to the quarterfinals in 7A. And then we played these people, and they had the best year they'd had in forever. So again, that's two. And what I'll share with you on that surfing stuff, again, just to remind you, is when the back goes in front of the quarterback, he don't have to spin and take his eyes off the hole. And it makes them, some kids are a little bit more confident doing that than spinning. You can go ahead and click there.
Question for you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
You're pulling guard there. Is he chicken wing
Coach,
on that guy, or is he square up on there? What do you prefer?
We should be trying to get our head in the hole and hit him with our face mask. He's got his arm around him. Is that what you see?
No, I was talking about that right arm he's got. It looked to me like he was coming in.
Do it again, Coach. Let me see it.
I didn't know if that was exactly.
Yeah, Coach, we probably, man, we're lucky we can make it Friday night.
Oh.
We're good.
I just didn't know if some of you guys have been having, have a preference between the two.
You keep
hands,
it
between
1, 2 minutes. There you go.
two hands in there, or either.
We're like Coach. You know, we wanna hit you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not old school Jeff Perry shoulder block wing T no more. You know what I mean? So whatever you see, Coach, we trying to do it that way. Trying to.
I'm with you.
Now we trying to get our head in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got.
We trying to gain
great
ground.
position
Good
there.
kick out.
You know, we didn't coach him to wrap him up, you know, and double hip throw him.
He's a guard. He can get away with it.
Yeah, I got you.
You're kind of blocking the screen.
Go ahead, Coach. So we, that's the weak trap rules, and go ahead and go, Coach.
Fire your test.
Just hit play and let it play.
Fire's test.
Now you can run it back. Just let it play. There you go.
This is Santa Fe right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, one thing I will say, we had really, really good players that bought into what we were doing. That's go ahead and hit there again. Go ahead and hit it again. I'm not. That's not even any good. ISO Jeff did. ISO Jeff did. So I'm not gonna. You go ahead and click it and just let it run. I'm not gonna waste nobody's time. I mean, Jeff did an outstanding job. I'm not going to go overkill. I'm going to find some things here. Hit the pause real quick. One thing, just hit pause. Hit it. Okay. One thing I know Coach Jacks did, and I know me and Joel have talked about this. I'm pretty sure this was Jeff's outside zone stuff. But if people tried to blitz us, you know, one thing in South Georgia, you're gonna play some people with some ballers now. You're gonna play some people with some ballers. Told you I met Joel and went and watched them play Brooks County, and we had played them too. And I highly recommend, if you need a game, schedule them.
Yeah.
If you need a game, homecoming, you need to schedule them.
Sharks War.
And what we started doing against people that we couldn't block, that were better than us, or people that would get off a damn block and chase you down for nothing. And we just caught, like on 8, we just called it 8 red. And like I think what you did is zone, I think. And all we would do is we would just basically, stay on the guy and try to get these two guys out there, and we might use this guy as a crack. So we might reach, but if you try to reach that bunch that I was just talking about, or you don't just come off and get in their face, they'll get off a block, and they will chase you down for 0. Am I telling the truth?
Oh, yeah.
No fabrication.
I mean, them suckers, they play. And their 3 technique will have one knee on the ground when the ball snap.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be down there, hand on the ground, one knee on the ground, and no way in the world can that kid play. Play him homecoming, man. Play him.
Ungodly get off on those.
Tee him up.
There.
Yeah, tee him up. Call that man down there and play them people. Yeah, I guarantee he's probably looking for a game right now. Again, just scanning it. I don't want to waste your time. You got to rep your stuff. So how you practice? We have a day 1 and a day 2. So basically, what we run, we run 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's our runs. Passes. We knock those out in Pascal day 1. Pass under pressure. So a lot of times we do it without DBs, but we do it with pass protection. Does that make sense? So we've got our offensive line, we've got our split end, we've got our wing back, we've got our people, and we do it against that right there. We do it against that right there. So them guys have to protect, but we don't have a real scout team. If we put people back there, it's not going to help us. All right, does everybody understand what I'm saying? So we'll practice that day 1, day 2, pass under pressure. We'll divide this in half. So day 1 might be 2, 4. So the fullback to get a carry, wing back back and get a carry on 7, and then we might, run 8. And then day 2, we'll run the rest of the stuff, and on Wednesday, we'll mix it all in. But the way we do it is we'll line up and we'll run two for 10 minutes. We'll just rep it. No huddle, rep it. No huddle, rep it. No huddle. We try to block cans and we try to block people. We run 4. We gonna rep it. 10 minutes, rep it, 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 10 minutes. We go back and cross and forth the field sideways. Then we run 7 and we rep it 10 minutes. And yes, that is 40 minutes. So we go 40 minutes that day, next day be 40 minutes. And that's how we practice our stuff and make sure we get it right. And I got a guy that coaches the blocking backs and tight ends, and the guy that coaches the rest of them people. I coach the running back people. We try to correct it on the run. We try not to stop and do it. We try to correct it on the run. And then, I would highly recommend, Coach had that drone footage. Highly recommend, if you don't have a drone, get one. So we do most of our correction. We do correct it on the field, but we're not going to stop and waste 2 of our 10 minutes doing that. Does everybody know what I'm saying? So that's how we kind of try to get good at our craft in terms of how we practice. Coach, if you'll drop that, and I'm not sure, Coach, can you drop that down and go to huddle? It's behind it, it's up, and I'm not sure how to get it down.
Escape.
It escaped. Uh-oh.
There it is.
Just drop that.
Oh, it's there somewhere. I
Hit the
see
line.
it.
There you go. Hit X that.
I'm not sure you got enough on your desktop.
There you go. Okay.
Holy shit, how's that computer even running?
Yeah, bigger.
Desktop's full, ain't it?
Yeah, y'all on my desktop. Yeah, I'll fix it one day.
When it stops working.
Nah, it ain't gonna stop working. Go ahead and hit that, Coach. Play that. This is a boot pass. Didn't handle the ball very good. We got it back, got lucky. Weak side boot pass, tight end, butt naked, pretty much every time. Go ahead and let it play. See if it's the same one. If it is, we'll go over here and make it smaller, Coach. Can you make it smaller right here? All right, go to 8 dog. Hit that. Go 8 dog. There you go. That was them people we talked about, Joel.
Yep, that's it.
That was them. Get rid of them. We ain't done nothing against them. I promise.
And you had the flip motion off.
That's okay. Yep. That flip motion. Yep.
A long run.
So that's Buck Sweep. If you go ahead and hit next play, go over, hit next play. There you go. Hit it again.
You see next one after?
Hit it again. There you go. See. Hit it again. It'll keep playing it. It'll loop it unless you hit it. Okay, let it load it. So that's just out of wide. That's the stuff I showed you on the board. And buck sweep to the boundary. Not a very good one. Hit it again. Hit it. that kid they got out there on the edge, he's playing at Georgia now. Might not be a very good one either. It's taking a while to load, ain't it? All right, go to the box. So that was Buck Sweet. How about cold 7? Okay, that's good. Or better 17. Better 17. There you go. So what I like, and again, I stole this straight from Rick. Nakeds are phenomenal football plays. So it's a hard run fake with a pass. So fake the counter and hit the tailback in the flat. That's them boys from Quitman. I ain't sure nothing works.
Make it full
See if you
screen.
can go to the next play, or go to the next one. All right. Yeah, they just gonna hit my quarterback, kill my quarterback. Go to the next one.
I don't know if any of you guys saw that Single Wing Nation on Facebook article about putting punch in your pal. You see how they went. That's the thing I like about this land. You cannot pull a lineman and still be completely have a helmet for a helmet.
And they're just running, man. I mean, they're not doing anything. I'm connected, same thing. It says,
That's gonna look like a hot spot.
I don't know. I ain't worried about it. Don't worry about it. Made a play, it's just taking too long. This fake the counter, put the tailback in the flat, and that's an outstanding play. The other one, you can go ahead and just pause it, Coach. The other one that's really, really good is the naked off the sweep. And instead of going through all that, I'll just show you. Hard run fake. Hard run fake. And get the back in the flat. So snap it here, catch it, get him out on the weak side, get him on the corner, fake the sweep, come back this way. Everybody is blocking sweep that way. Lottie, Dottie, everybody. That man has got to take at least 3 steps, and then we gonna wheel out of there. And that right there, I guarantee you, against most high school football teams, will be wide open. I wished I had one to show you. I'm waiting on all that internet. It's hard. It's hard on y'all. But those are good plays. The only other play, find you a screen. Slow screen to the back. That play there is really good. Slow screen to the back is very good, very simple. Tight end side, other side. We'll put our man there. Remember, we stack him some. We'll have our tight end. We'll have our tight end drive. We'll have our tight end drive and go seal the first backer inside. We'll let our guard block, go to the widest player on the field. We'll let our center block the closest guy, go to the next guy, and we'll have this guy step up. And when this cat comes and this cat comes, go behind them, and we'll dump it off right there. And that's a good football play. That was really good. That's the better the people, the better the football play in that. We talk about conflicting a 3 technique. We read the 3 a little bit. We run some power read a little bit. Jeff talked about all the wrong, the key breakers. Those are not to be underestimated. Power read. If they're on the field, you can read them. If they're on the field, you can read them. Power read the front side in. Read the tackle. If they're an odd front, read the nose guard. It's just, it's got to be something that, something you're going to do. So, again, wanted to I was sitting here, seeing what Jeff was doing, kind of adjusted on the run a little bit, didn't want to kill you with things you'd heard twice. If I can help you, don't hesitate. To contact me. I'll share film, anything. That's me. Text me or whatever. But I appreciate you putting up with me, John and Coach Will. Thank you for having me. Coach Darlington, thanks for everything you've ever done for me. And I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.
All right, we